I was the development ideas guy at a production company called Raw in London, which they've made documentaries like The Imposter and American Animals recently. And in that job, you see hundreds of ideas every week, and you get very jaded. You kind of feel you've seen everything before. But a producer, Grace Hughes Hallett, brought this idea in, and instantly I could see that it was the best documentary idea I'd ever come across, because it worked on various levels. I mean, there's a compelling human interest story at its heart, but it also enables you to explore these much bigger sort of ideas about family, free will, destiny, nature versus nurture. So it just has these levels that a lot of documentary ideas don't have. And from that point on, I felt like I have to make this film. I think the most challenging thing of the whole project was just earning the trust of the brothers and convincing them to do the film. I think they find it understandably hard to trust people, and I think documentaries are nothing without trust. So that was the key thing that I knew I had to crack, but it took a long time to get to that point. Yeah, 4 or 5 years. This is my first feature, and I have learned a huge amount making it. A lot just of practical things about budgeting and kind of working to scale. I'm used to much smaller projects, but also a lot of the lessons that I'd learned previously making shorter docs have proved really useful for this. And I certainly couldn't have made this film without the grounding and background that I've had making films. It was certainly a challenge, though. It was definitely the most challenging thing I've done. I mean, it's the box office success of the film is totally unexpected. I mean, it's made 12.5 million or something like that at the US box office, which is, for a documentary, especially a documentary that doesn't have any famous people in it or isn't about a really well-known thing or person, is just sort of extraordinary. So yeah, I mean, it's beyond my wildest dreams how it's done financially. So the first public screening of the film was at Sundance. Um, I'd never been to Sundance before. None of the people on my team really had. We were all wandering around, not knowing what was going on, and we had this venue, and all these people turned up, and we were kind of surprised that it was full for the first screening. And it went okay, and it had a good Q&A, and people seemed to respond. But then Darren Aronofsky was in the audience, and he tweeted about the film. And from that point on, basically, it went completely crazy and hasn't stopped for about 12 months. I haven't met. I don't even know if he was there. I'm assuming he was there because he's tweeting about the film. But no, I've never met Aronofsky. But I owe him a lot. He said in his tweet that the film had disturbed him, but it was a great watch. And I was like, yes, we've disturbed Darren Aronofsky. That's got to be a rare achievement. I've just started watching Succession, which is a great TV series. And film wise, what have I seen? I've seen. I mean, this is from a few years back. I've seen Don't Breathe, a horror film, which I really liked, and also I finally watched Florida Project, which I just thought was the most extraordinary film, and I think Sean Baker is an incredible talent. I mean, next I would love to do a drama. Definitely interested in pursuing kind of scripted projects, but also those kind of hybrids. Like my colleague Bart Layton has done at Raw, like with American Animals, where that point where documentary and drama intersect, I think, is a really interesting space and something I'm keen to explore more. I mean, there is, but I can't tell you what it is because then someone else might grab the story because it's a great story. But no, what would I love to do? I mean, I'm obsessed with surfing, so I would love to do something on surfing. No one has really made a great surfing film. I mean, Point Break isn't really a film about surfing, and Big Wednesday is probably the closest, but hasn't been seen by many people. So I think there's still an opportunity there. When you come to see Three Identical Strangers, what you're going to get is a roller coaster story, packed full of very strong emotions that will really take you on a journey from somewhere you think you know where it's going to somewhere completely different. It really is a wild ride.